Watching Fox disintegrate each and every day is certainly a sight to behold. Their attacks at Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz are getting more and more desperate. They brought on Elizabeth Hasselbeck to talk about biased media with Sean Hannity, and they are attacking Vice President Kamala Harris for eating a bag of Doritos. This is what they're focused on. Play this clip.
You just talked about Kamala Harris supposedly eating a bag of Doritos, so emotionally charged after hearing this. That's the commander-in-chief, potentially. That's the emotional response of the leader of the free world, is to binge eat a bag of Doritos? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine Putin, how he deals with things, chugging down a bag of Sour Patch Kids because he's depressed about something not going his way? Or back in the day, Soleimani, what is he, binging on Funyuns? I doubt it. I doubt that's the actual response of an elite leader, whether you agree with what they're leading or not.
Then you have Hannity disgracing the Bee Gees right here. I don't even know what this even is. Here, play this clip. Watch Hannity. Play this.
I'm sorry. That is awesome. That AI in some ways scares the hell out of me, and I think should scare everybody. Yeah. However, that is awesome.
One of the things that Sean Hannity was talking about as well is Tim Walz accused of lying about his white guy tacos. As our senior producer, Asen, remarked, there's a 10% chance that James Comer will be opening up an investigation into this. There's a 60% chance it gets mentioned by a Republican on the oversight committee hearing. One of the things that MAGA Republicans are attacking Governor Walz for is the type of tacos he likes. And they're saying, well, in 2016, he won a spice competition, so he was lying to Vice President Kamala Harris when he says he doesn't like spicy tacos. Anyway, back to Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who's being featured on Fox now, which is like one of their go-to people to attack Vice President Kamala Harris. Here she is saying that the media is rigged, it's all rigged, everything's rigged. Here, play this clip.
What I think the viewer is missing that there right now is the ability to hear another perspective, because that table, if you ask them who are you voting for right now in this election, they're not representing American women. They're just not. They're not representing the voters in America. They're not. I doubt there's one person on that panel that would say they were voting for Donald Trump. Maybe secretly they are, because they believe that they have to choose the better leader, the elite leader for the American people. And they're just part of a media swarm. Sean, you know this is happening. The punishment for conservative female voices right now is severe. You're being canceled, your contracts are not being renewed, you're not being invited back to network meetings per se. There's a big punishment there because they want their mission to be put forward only. And the latest.
Then you have Jeanine Pirro lying and saying, for the past 27 days, Vice President Kamala Harris has not answered any questions. Play this clip.
That tell you why the woman is the president, the vice president of the United States, and she's not capable of answering questions. But what she does know is that the mainstream media is on her side. They're not going to give her a hard time. It's 27 days. She hasn't answered one question.
They just objectively lie. I could show you a ton of questions and answers like this, like by Vice President Kamala Harris, but let me show you this. Here, play this clip.
When can we expect you to roll out your policy platform?
Next week, and it'll be focused on the economy and what we need to do to bring down costs and also strengthen the economy overall.
Can you give us a sense of reaction to the Israeli strike in Gaza today that killed at least 80 people? That's the death.
You know, yet again, there are far too many civilians who have been killed. I mean, Israel has a right to go after the terrorists that are Hamas, but as I have said many, many times, they also have I believe, an important responsibility to avoid civilian casualties.
Madam Vice President, you've been saying that since October 7th, and that has been the administration's policy for many, many months now, as tens of thousands of civilians have been killed. I mean, there are people who are asking for limitations on arms to Israel, any kind of change. What do you say to those folks who are looking for more than we should look out for civilians?
Well, look, first and foremost, and the president and I have been working on this around the clock, we need to get the hostages out. We need a hostage deal, and we need a ceasefire. And I can't stress that strongly enough. it needs to get done. The deal needs to get done, and it needs to get done now.
On economy, I know you're going to speak about that this coming week.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sense on what your view is on the Fed and independence of the Fed? President Trump weighed in on that list last week and said he thought he should have some say in the Fed's decisions.
I couldn't disagree, more strongly. The Fed is an independent entity, and as president, I would never interfere in the decisions that the Fed makes.
And what's your take on their policies right now? There was some concern last week as the market fell that there might be a recession coming. What's your view on that?
Well, as we know, there was some turbulence this week, but it seems to have settled itself, and we'll see what the decisions they make next. And I hear about them about the same time you do. Sure. Yeah.
Do you know what day you will roll out?
Have you started your convention
reaction
speech?
to the Trump
By
campaign
midweek.
saying, Thank you. Thanks.
Then you have former MAGA Republican Congress member Chaffetz, who's hired by Fox to spread propaganda and disinformation. He goes, look, if you got to sit down with someone and said, who would you rather get financial advice by? Donald Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris? He goes, I would pick Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
And then by her side is Tim Walz. You know, he's got a man crush on China. He's never built a business. And if you could sit down with somebody and say, I need some financial advice, I need to actually grow my business and my product, and I want to fix the economic situation of America, would you sit with Donald Trump or would you go with Kamala Harris? Because nobody would say, oh, I want to get Kamala Harris's advice on how to fix the economy. She's not even in the top 1,000 people you would call to say, how do we do economics in this country?
Okay, we realize that Donald Trump actually has a track record, right? Like, he's bankrupted almost all of the businesses that he's touched in his life. Like, you can go through his SEC financial disclosure on Trump Media. I'll pull it up right here. And it talks about all of the Trump casinos that he's bankrupted, all of the Trump entities that he's bankrupted over the years, all of the Trump properties that have been bankrupted over the years, all of the Trump products from vodka companies to the university to a mortgage company to a shuttle company. You name it, he's bankrupted companies like that. And then just take a look at, you want to take a look right now at our economy. You want to take a look right now at the stock market. You know, the stock market's up about 50% since Donald Trump left the office, since Donald Trump stopped disgracing the office. Like, you can try to provide alternative facts all you want, even though I think that the stock market shouldn't be viewed as a metric for economic success. Y'all do, so take your metric. Here's where it is right now, up about 50% since Trump left. Now let's take a look at Donald Trump's stock, Trump Media. You see that right there? Yeah, Donald Trump's stock is down about 52% over the past 6 months alone. And in the last quarter, it only had about $840,000 in revenue. And over the past 3 to 4 months, it's lost over $300 million. So no, he's not a good business person. You want to take a look at what he did during COVID. You want to take a look at the highest jobless rates in the history of America, that Donald Trump is the only president other than Herbert Hoover to actually lose jobs. Yeah, we can have those conversations. Here's Chaffetz again, and here he talks about, I don't even know what the line of attack is here, that under Vice President Kamala Harris' plans, everything is going to be free. Free healthcare, free root beer, free drinking fountain. Play the clip.
Yeah, just free everything. You know, it doesn't cost anything. We're just going to give it all away. You know, why should you have to? Let's put root beer in all the drinking fountains. It'll be great. You know,
look, y'all literally give crazy tax cuts to billionaires, and you give billionaires free things. They think we're stupid. They just think that we're dumb. You realize that when you talk about trickle down economics, the whole MAGA Republican plan is give free crap to rich people, to the richest. Help rich people even get more rich, and then maybe they'll trickle down things on us. That's quite literally your entire plan, is to trickle down your sloppy 18ths on the masses, and you think that we're just going to accept that instead of a bottom-up, middle-out economy that actually works for the American people. Then Sean Hannity goes into full propaganda mode. He goes, this is the most, Vice President Kamala Harris is running the most deceptive campaign in our country's history. projection much? Here, play this clip.
Do gaggles. This is the most dishonest, deceptive campaign in our country's history. It's like con artist Kamala, the biggest bait and switch operation and fraud ever perpetrated on all of you, hardworking, tax-paying Americans. And right on cue, today's speech was full of lots of lies about Donald Trump. Take a look.
He wants to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that we import from other countries. That will devastate Americans. A Trump tax on gas, a Trump tax on food, a Trump tax on clothing, a Trump tax on over-the-counter medication. He tried to cut Medicare every year he was president, threatening a program that tens of millions of seniors count on. And according to his Project 2025 agenda, he intends to undo our work to bring down prescription drugs, the cost of prescription drugs, and insulin costs.
Gas, food, clothing, medicine, none of it is true. Just the opposite. She's lying.
And just so you see how Fox fries the brains of its viewers and why it's hard to get these people out of their echo chamber to listen to facts, even where the facts benefits them. Just watch this. This has gone viral. We found this clip at the MeidasTouch Network. Other people have posted it. Where a woman has a complete mental breakdown over a Kamala Harris ad being played on Fox. Here, watch this clip.
That's why she's determined to lower healthcare costs and make housing more affordable. Donald Trump has no plan to help the middle class.
Hey, Fox, why are you showing Kamala ads? Do you think CNN and MSNBC are showing Trump ads? Hey, Murdochs, you foreigner scum! What the hell?
And by the way, I don't know that lady's background, but I would venture to guess that she is not a billionaire. I would guess that she's probably not a decamillionaire. I would venture to guess that the policies by Biden and Harris have actually helped her. I would venture to guess whether she's on Social Security, on Medicare, whether she is receiving the benefits through the infrastructure projects, through jobs in her community, that she's actually gaining the benefits from Vice President Kamala Harris and Biden's plans. Yet she's taught to feel this intense hatred and just ignore the facts. By the way, here's Laura Ingraham reporting from home. By the way, isn't Fox and all of these hosts, don't they always like attack people who work from home and made a whole big deal about that? But anyway, Laura Ingraham working from home right here. And in her studio, she has the American flag on the floor, a clear violation of the flag code, so she can step on it while she's spewing propaganda. Play this clip.
Okay, we have a new camera tonight. Do you think it's going to work? I have the best in the business who just set up this entirely new system. Don't look at the dust on the floor, the cans of soda. But we're very excited. I think we actually have the teleprompter set right. But if not, I'll just do hand puppets. I'm sure that'll totally explain what happened at the Hunter Biden trial today. Bye.
Oh, then of course we go to Maria Bartiromo, and here she thinks it's a huge scandal that the Democratic National Committee is helping American citizens living abroad. Play this clip.
Let's start with the fundraising. What can you tell us about money raised and what you're hearing from constituents and donors?
We feel very comfortable that we are able to raise the money that we need. We have seen record-breaking months since the president became our back in March, and we're going to have the resources that we need to get our message out to every American family and every American voter.
Yeah, but look, the Democrat National Committee is investing more than $300,000 into registering and helping American citizens that live abroad with mail-in voting. So this is their new tactic, Michael. The party estimates 1.6 million American expats are from crucial swing states. This is the first time that the Democrat National Committee has used this tactic in a presidential election cycle. The RNC is focusing on election integrity with the Protect Vote program. I know that you've invested in poll watchers. You filed more than 80 election integrity lawsuits across the country. You're trying to keep states honest in terms of what they're doing. But wait a make of this new tactic from the Democrats? They're trying to get people, American citizens who are living abroad, to mail in their votes for Kamala Harris.
Sure. Well, it's good that they finally realized that they need to do that. We've had Republicans Abroad, which is a great organization, which has been working on this throughout the election and cycle. I have spoke to their leadership and had a number of conversations with it. We've got efforts right now, particularly in Israel underway and other countries, to try and make sure that the American citizens abroad that are Republicans are voting as well. And right now, what we're seeing country is on Republican registration. We are catching the Democrats. We are beating the Democrats all across the country, particularly in battleground states like Pennsylvania and North Carolina, where we have seen huge surges in closing the gap from Republicans to Democrats.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're doing.
Here is Nancy Mace saying, look, what I remember in November 2020, gas prices were like $1.70 or whatever she says. Now they're like $3.60. Well, Nancy Mace, I wonder in November 2020 if Donald Trump's mismanagement of something called COVID created an apocalyptic type event that that was a reason why people weren't on the roads, while because of Donald Trump, everything was locked down. Here, play this clip.
In the election in November of 2020, I filled up on gas at $1.89. Yesterday, as I was traveling, it was $3.89. These prices aren't going down at all, and her policies are only going to make the issue worse for hardworking Americans that are having trouble putting food on the table for them and their kids.
Yeah.
And here, I don't even think Maria Bartiromo knows what to do with this guest, Congress member Eric Bolson, who's just like, what are you saying? Here, play this clip.
These polls that say voters also blame you and your colleagues.
Look, I'll say it again, that the bill that we were faced with was only going to ignore the first 5,000. It was only going to ignore the numbers. You don't fix a situation by erasing the first few data entries.
Okay. The House Oversight Committee is demanding.
And here is Nancy Mace again posting that she's owning the radical libs. Yeah, because she went on CNN and she said, I am not going to pronounce Vice President Kamala Harris's name correctly. This is what she did on CNN. Play this clip.
And Kamala's
you had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
No,
but
you mispronounced her and you also misjudged her.
I just did, and I'll do it again.
Mispronouncing her name. That's a refusal to acknowledge her humanity. If I purposely mispronounced your name, that would not be appropriate.
Policies are Joe Biden.
Let me just share with you this, though. This is from CNN. This is Maria Cardona, political analyst there. And here she just says, look, let's just take a look at what these policies are delivering. Democrats versus Republicans. Watch this.
Likes to tout it, but let's remember what happened. It's rich when Republicans look at Democratic proposals who want to benefit those who need it the most, working class voters, middle class families, and they just scream communism. Yet when Trump passed billions and billions of dollars in tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires and the biggest corporations, they're like, oh, we don't need to pay for that. That's fine. And it did explode the deficit, and it didn't help middle class voters, and it actually hurt working class voters. And so that's what she is getting at. That's what she's going to remind people about.
All right, I want you to jump in.
Anyway, tell me what you think below in the comments. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.